10 harmful insects to avoid at all costs. Here is a list of 10 harmful insects to avoid at all costs. These insects bite, sting, and some are simply nasty to have around the house. 10. The cow killer. The insect you see in the picture is known as the cow killer. Why does this little insect have such an unpleasant name? I'll tell you. First of all, you should know that these are Mutilidae, also known as velvet ants. These insects aren't ants, but belong to the group of wasps without wings. Mutilidae are hairier than ants and have a velvety body. However, the males have fully developed wings, while the females lack wings but have a sting. They can measure between 0.3 and 2.5 centimeters. It may not be a large insect, but you should avoid velvet ants by all means. They aren't aggressive insects, but they can sting if you step on them by mistake. The female sting is toxic and victims will experience severe pain for about 30 minutes after the sting. By the way, the cow killer doesn't kill cows. It's just an old legend that incorrectly states that the sting is strong enough to kill a cow. 9. Blister Beetle. They look cute in bright colors, and you are tempted to pick them up, but you shouldn't. It would be best if you only admired blister beetles from a distance, as they secrete a toxic, oil-like substance when threatened. The substance is called cantharidin. Cantharidin has fascinated people since the 1800s because it is said to be an aphrodisiac. It's more commonly known as the Spanish fly. The Spanish fly is also the common name for a specific emerald-colored blister beetle native to southern Europe. The term Spanish fly can confuse, as it can refer to either the substance or the beetle. Cantharidin has been used for centuries to treat a variety of conditions. For more than 2,000 years, it has had a wide variety of uses in traditional and folk medicine in China, including warts removal. However, cantharidin can cause irritation and blistering if it comes into contact with the eyes, skin, mouth, throat, or digestive system. 1 gram is enough to cause symptoms in 5,000 people, and a lethal dose is only 30 milligrams. I would rather stay away from it. 8. Cockroaches. Cockroaches are best described as a crawling insect that nobody wants to encounter. Although cockroaches don't bite, they are considered a dangerous source of allergens and can also cause an asthma attack. They can also contain certain bacteria that can spread disease if it comes in contact with food. Cockroaches don't sting, but they can scratch you with the solid leg stings. And because they carry bacteria, the scratched area may become infected. When food is scarce, cockroaches will chew on unusual things. The most severe cases of cockroaches biting people happen on ships. There is documentation that the cockroaches on some ships became so abundant that the people on board became their only source of nutrition, at least their dead skin cells and their nails. So you won't die from a cockroach bite, but it's not pleasant seeing cockroaches on your body. The only person who ever died from cockroaches was Edward Archibald. However, the cockroaches didn't eat him, but the other way around. Archibald entered a cockroach eating contest and unfortunately suffocated when his respiratory tract became blocked with cockroaches. 7. Giant Weta. The giant Weta looks like the insect you have seen in your nightmares. It's one of the largest insects in the world and is something like a mix between a grasshopper and a beetle, but bigger. Did you know that the giant Weta can even become bigger than a mouse? Most giant Wetas don't grow that big, but when they do, they can weigh almost 70 grams. And they grow up to 10 centimeters. Although the giant Weta looks scary and dangerous with its huge body and spiky legs, it's quite a kind animal. Not the kind you want to cuddle with, but the giant Weta isn't harmful. There are 70 species of Weta in New Zealand, including the Little Barrier Island giant Weta, also known as the Wetapunga. The giant Weta likes carrots, so if you have planted some carrots, the giant Weta will become your nightmare. Actually, the giant Weta is a bit of a sad insect. Its body is too heavy, so it can't fly, and it can't jump either. But fortunately, it has its large body size, and those big claws can handle bigger opponents. He can even fight a cat. 6. Trombicula. Trombicula is a genus of mites that are members of the arachnid family and are sometimes called red bugs. Although these bugs are tiny, they can bite quite hard. They are so microscopic that you probably won't notice them jumping from that blade of grass onto your skin, so you won't feel it when they hitchhike into your home. If you do feel them, they can get extremely itchy. These red bugs are so small that you need a magnifying glass to see them. Only the larvae of this red bug bite people. Because the larvae cluster together on your skin, you might be able to see them because of the red color. You only notice the damage they do to your skin. Adults can grow up to 0.42 millimeters, and the larvae are 0.007 millimeters. The larvae tend to choose warm, moist parts of the body. They don't drink blood, but dissolved skin cells. They attach their mouth to the skin and inject saliva. The saliva contains an enzyme that breaks down skin cells into liquid form. After about 4 days of feeding, they release themselves, and you are left with red, itchy marks on your body. 5. Earwigs. This insect's name is quite confusing because it doesn't live in people or animals' ears. In the past, people believed that these insects crawled into your ears to lay eggs and could even enter your brain. There have been a few cases of people finding earwigs in their ears, but it is unusual for an earwig to crawl into someone's ear. This might happen to campers, but it rarely, if ever, happens. Another misconception about earwigs is that they cause harm to humans because of their intimidating tweezer-like tail. They can grab your finger with it if you annoy them, but earwigs don't sting and aren't dangerous. They cannot sting because they have no stinger or venom sac. When they squeeze you with their tail, it can feel a little uncomfortable and rarely causes a wound. So earwigs aren't dangerous, but you don't want to have them in your garden as they like to feed on seedlings. 4. Lenomia caterpillars. Most adult moths and butterflies have no mouth and cannot bite, so they can't bite you either. However, in the early stages of its life, a moth is first a caterpillar before it enters the metamorphosis stage and develops wings. In this stage, some species of moths can be harmful to humans. The caterpillars of the Lenomia obliqua moth are life-threatening because of the stinging hairs on their bodies. These stinging hairs are hollow, filled with a deadly toxin, and it's their defense mechanism. Many people have become victims of this caterpillar, especially in southern Brazil, in some cases even with fatal consequences. According to the Guinness World Record, the Lenomia obliqua is classified as the most toxic caterpillar globally. So if you see a caterpillar with stinging hairs, you better keep your hands off it. Most stinging hairs cause a burning sensation and irritation, and in the case of the Lenomia obliqua, this can lead to loss of life. 3. Heteropoda venatoria. Another invertebrate you should always avoid is this giant scary brown spider. They belong to the genus Venatoria, which means murderess in Greek, and with good reason, because Heteropoda venatoria is one of the most toxic spiders on Earth. There are 8 species, all of which are very aggressive and toxic. They occur exclusively in parts of Central and South America. Sometimes, only rarely, they end up in Europe. They often nest among bananas, which takes them as stowaways in a fruit load out of their natural habitat. They are also called cane spiders, and I will use this name from now on because it's a little easier. The bite of the cane spiders can be fatal to humans, especially children. The only thing that can save you is an antidote. According to the Natural History Museum in Karlsruhe, Germany, the venom of the cane spiders is a complex cocktail of toxins, proteins, and peptides. After a person gets bitten, he or she may experience the first symptoms, such as severe burning pain around the biting area, sweating, and goosebumps. In case you get bitten, you should therefore seek immediate medical attention. So be on the lookout the next time you buy a bunch of bananas. You never know whether there is a nest of cane spiders. 2. Deathstar scorpion. The Deathstar scorpion is one that you shouldn't underestimate. The Deathstar is a relatively small scorpion and measures only 6.35 centimeters. Despite its tiny appearance, this scorpion has a terrible venom. If it stings you, you will experience an excruciating, painful sting and be injected with a lethal cocktail of neurotoxins and cardiotoxins. This scorpion is an insect that forms a serious threat to even the healthiest of individuals. Young children and older adults with heart problems are at serious risk of being killed by a Deathstar sting. Any person who is stung will experience a life-threatening allergic reaction to the venom in addition to excruciating pain. Although most healthy adults survive their sting, this is partly due to their natural tolerance to the toxin. Still, you don't want to be stung by the Deathstar scorpion because it will be an experience you'll never forget. 1. Doraleous ants. Ants might be small, but their bites can be very painful. Doraleous ants are a genus of army ants with a brutal nature. They are one of the deadliest species in the world. These ants are famous for being nomadic. They set up temporary colonies for a few days to a few months until their food supply in the area runs out. Then they move on. Their ant colonies are the largest in the world and can count up to 22 million ants. So imagine 22 million migrating ants on the jungle floor, all marching in a gigantic row. I can't imagine that. By the way, did you know that Doraleous army ants are carnivores? Their primary food source are earthworms. Doraleous ants are also known to attack and consume any animal that isn't clever or fast enough to escape. These ants also have a close relationship to defend each other. Yes, all 22 million of them. Because if one ant gets injured while the colony is on the move, the whole row of millions of ants will attack anything they think is the aggressor. So don't step on one of these ants by mistake. 22 million of them will fight against you. Doraleous army ants will bite rather than sting. Their bites hurt terribly. It is incredibly complicated to remove a Doraleous ant from your body once they have bitten you with their jaws. Their bites are so powerful that certain tribes in Africa deliberately have Doraleous ants bite into their skin to close open wounds instead of stitches. Talk about natural stitches. Though it is unusual, Doraleous ants can kill people. For example, if you can't move for some reason and you get in their way, you can get covered in ants. So if you encounter a group of Doraleous ants, run in the opposite direction as fast as you can, or at least stay out of their way. Which of these harmful insects do you never want to encounter? Leave your answer in the comments and come back tomorrow for a brand new video. Thanks for watching!